Okay, this is Brennan, and looks like the camera is rolling. So, I have an assistant. He is very eager to help me, because I am the doctor. He's not so eager. Okay, I'm a very bad joker. Okay, hold it. So yeah, okay. This is the diagram right here. Okay, so now I guarantee, yeah. But these are the heartstrings. Okay, here, hold it a little out that way, though. Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. So, so basically, saying that there are strings that we are puppets. Now this can be hurt our feelings. We're thinking no, we are independent, and so therefore we don't need God. Mhm. So imagine that this music is pretty dark. I don't know. Well, it's Omen. Okay, so it's going on YouTube. So the heartstrings that lift. So basically, at the end of the social fabric. So this is this big picture of the convergence. Okay, so if you imagine that Jesus had these strings, and his strings, his threads, his cloth, his threads, threads in the cloth, the threads of society, humanity, civilization, whichever one you want to choose. Society kind of gets it gets a little too, it sinks down a little too much. You get these holes in the social fabric, and then you start thinking, oh, holes in the social fabric. That's what we want to prevent by having the threads working together across the Great Divide, where you have these, you know, East meets West. Okay, am I in the picture? Can you?
Yeah.
Looks good. All right. So, um, so imagine Jesus, he was an individual, not the group. The group is Christianity. That's the primary norm. The secondary norm, and this is very difficult to make a poem out of the second coming, because this is, you know, I guarantee. But the heartstrings, the heartstrings. Okay, so God was like testing him to see how strong those strings were, how strong those threads, that fabric, that cloth, that man of the cloth, who was married, they say, because he was a ladies' man, right? So, so, so God pulled those threads. He dragged them through hell. He basically, he went through all this turmoil and stuff, all this trials. He dragged him, and eventually he was just like, all right. Yeah, he pulled them as hard as he could, yanked these strings, and he went to heaven. Okay, so he does. This is how. This is how we get to heaven: is having the social fabric work on that system, that feeling machine. The cross is basically, it is mechanical. Okay, it is geometric. Okay, so geography, metering that, you can say, is this normal? Is scientific methods, um, it's about the thoughts being emptied by heaven. Basically, you're lifting these fabrics, lifting these threads. You're this music, I'm sorry, but let me pause this. Is this it?
Pause, yeah.
Okay. It's Omen music. It plays. It's a, there's just this child staring at you. It's spooky. Okay, so you're lifting the social fabric. Can you hold it straight? Oh no, right that way. Oh, that's good. Yeah. There we go. All right. So, um, okay, so you're by pulling these threads, having this feeling machine, this cross. Okay, so this is a very ancient. You have geometric, 8-sided, 6-sided, 4-sided, geometric symbols, signs. Oh, I gotta hold it a little straighter here. Ah, perfect. There we go. Okay, so these are what lift the social fabric. So basically, lifting them above hell. Okay, so this is gotta use this. Have to language that contains a lot of words. Uh, so basically, I'm not sure. I'm kind of very tired. Um, I was talking about this one. Like, imagine a hammock is basically this big piece of fabric, cloth, and it accumulates in a thread at each end. And maybe these threads are like into this fifth element, this wheel that is churning, is pulling these threads for a cosmically balanced world. Um, so yeah, so it's it's like these threads, they're going through these portals basically at either end. They're either circumferences that are wrapped around maybe a tree. This is your hammock is tied to a tree. You could drill a hole in the tree, but this is rather harsh. But imagine you have a barrel and it's full of some sort of liquid, and at the bottom you have a vent. And so, like, imagine at the top there's cream, and in the middle there's all this drinking water. But down at the bottom, you want to drain off some of this bad stuff, like this. I don't know. It's you can't really get into that, but basically, this is this vent. This is this hole that's holding the world up. By having these portals, the threads are holding it up. It's a catatonic thing where it gets very thin at the ends, and it's you're crossing the thin ice, and so basically, you're on that hammock and you're in this dream state. You're floating above the frozen water. Think of it as that. As ice, and I mean, it's really deep. It's so deep that you want to be above it. You want to have this suspension. You want to have, without strangling the tree, with your threads. So you have to adjust these for. It's hard to say exactly what time. Some people are more into the into the cosmic calendar. Me, I think of it as names and words. So like the months of the year, you have your lunar calendar. Um, but basically, I'll say these these threads of this. The heart is a puppet. Okay, so we are all acting on other people's reactions. Geography, the metric of geography. So it's pure. It is not a political thing. It is a geopolitical. The policy is lifting these threads. We are rising up above the. Very tired. Sorry. It's and so the symbolism. Um, okay, on the thin ice. Right. That's where. Yeah, exactly. So imagine you're not only in a thin ice, but you're in some a maze, a bunch of hallways and a bunch of um, doors, and you have all these keys, and what are you gonna look through the keyhole? I mean, yes, of course you are. Through the tree, I'll drill a hole through the tree, and then you're a tree hugger, and this Dutch guy, I was talking to him. he he was like, yeah, he's cool. He's telling. So I'm talking to all these people about all this um, general happiness and geographic normalcy. So these are the two threads. These are the two threads that you're lifting up. But there's two beams. So basically, there's east meets west, or it's actually the left-hand side meets the eastern side. And sorry. Okay, so you're lifting the fabric from basically all ends. Basically, it's this cosmic three-dimensional fractal that is lifting. It is purely is above our heads. So basically, the words, the language is the poetic is floating above, just as the hammock is. So this is the vehicle in motion. This is some sort of physics, like statistics. I don't have all the language. But basically, you're in this hallway and you have all these keys to all these doorways, and you want to look to understand, to say what is behind that doorway. So this keyhole, it is understanding. So it is history, the complete histories, which is too much information. So a lot of people say, oh, well, who cares what the weather was like last week? That's gone. So, but other people, they can take this knowledge, compact it down, look at it for a second, and then look at the other one. So all these symbols, and eventually what is behind the doors. And it's a little bit of mojo rising there, rising on the social threads that are being lifted, not waiting for some natural happiness, natural substances, climate, um, geography. So manifest destiny is saying, oh, let's just go out there, conquer that new territory, and everyone's going to stay there, unless if they are um, superstars. They have won on this new world. But the problem is, normalcy is what we go to war for. And so it it's it's fundamental that we find people that are unhappy in that new world and say, oh, this is a terrible situation. We must find them, not think about it, simply have the feelings and the thoughts. So we are quantifying that they are generally happy, but they are not geographically normal, and so they have to be in this normative. They have to be lifted, and basically you're pulling the threads, just like Jesus going into heaven. And if the threads break, it's not a problem. Okay, this is not a problem. This is a unique condition. This is from, if you look at history, and some people say, no, forget about history, I have no history, type of thing. Um, but civilization has these functions. Um, and I forget, this is a Chinese symbol. I think it means universal bridge or something like that. Um, but so you're looking and you're skiing across that thin ice, and so once you have what's behind all these doorways, all these keyholes, then you can go across the thin ice, high speed, maximum purpose, harmony. So you're going across that like a harmonic chord, a thread that's bridging that gap. And it's very difficult to do this. It's sort of like God saying, well, let's see how deep that frozen lake is. Like, we'll just drag him right through there. And if he survives that, oh well, then hunky dory. But the modern world is this is where we have to guarantee ourselves, because no one else will guarantee um, that there is a crossroads and a level beam. Um, but you're basically lifting the heart there. And at the bottom, so this is supposed to be a person, but that's like idolic. So I'm doing symbols, right? Semi-geometric over here. You see it? So what it is at the bottom you have your house and you have your vehicle, and so these two epic problems. Everyone, we don't want one house. We want more than one. We want a gas house so we can escape the geographic normalcy. So that 1%. So this is a denominator. So you have society, humanity, environment is all a 100 because we have 10 fingers. Okay, 10 by 10. It's a social fabric. It's a total sort of.
My arm's getting
It's a
sore.
Your arm's getting sore. Okay. Okay. So, here, hold back farther. Okay. So, where am I? The denominator. So the numerator and the denominator. So this one, you have 100, right? And every number has a denominator. So underneath 100 is 1. This number could be positive or negative. So the positive are like the great leaders, the great effect, making the whole 100 positive. But there is a negative on the far side, the polar opposite. So this is x equals -1. X marks a spot on the far side of the Great Divide where you are not thinking straight. Um, Instead, you have this environmental cop-out with, the transportation, the housing, the heart, and the soul, that halo up there, are all dangling below the guarantee. I'm so tired. So if you take that one, that that mysterious cultural normative value that is below, what was that above and below stuff? So it's yeah, so it's like the frozen ice. Basically, above the frozen ice, it's safe. You can ski across that, and it's a joy to sail across that ice at high speed, all confidence, everyone working together because normalcy is there geographically on that point, theory A to point B, to cross that frozen lake and not break through, not have the social fabric divided and conflicting. So instead, it is working together. It is this keyhole. It's all this stuff. And orchestrating it is what basically this fifth element. I mean, I can't even look at fifth element. I can't look at the camera when you say that. Nebula. What's that? Bruce Willis. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, you saw the movie, right? It's a big movie. Okay, so it's not the whatever. Yeah, that's the fifth element is whatever. Um, it's this. A madman told me. Wait, wait. Yes, he just told me inside my head. And, yeah, so I've got all this poetry. Oh, and this picture, you gotta see this picture. Fantastic! I drew this. Well, I was standing by a canal in the old world, um, and I was looking into the. Well, I was imagining a vehicle that could float above it, and you have to look at it in reverse. Okay, so it's really because I was holding this up to the light, and so if you look at it in reverse, I know not everyone has a supercomputer, so we'll do a little magic there. Oh, it looks better. Looks like Da Vinci. And this is the vehicle of the future. Basically, a beam with a wheel that's just burning rubber out there. But it's this cosmic sort of. It's a vortexual ring-a-lang. I don't know. I'm so tired. Okay, and this is a lousy drawing right here because I lost my inspiration at this point. I I was on a train at this point in England. Beautiful. But the inspiration is an articulation. So you have all these threads, draw all these threads out, and then you have to weave them together. Okay, so this is fundamental. So you need this vacuum space in which to do things. Okay, to light illumination, the This is how light bulbs work. They work in a vacuum. And I am floating in space right now because I'm kind of tired. I've been traveling for days. So we'll just cut it right there, right? Okay, so I'll stop it. Here, I'll grab that camera. Okay, so listen to me. Okay. Okay. Yes. Floating. Thank you.